It was a hot Tuesday afternoon when I held my newborn in my arms for the very first time. Tears of joys, smiling faces, screams filled the hospital room. Mashallah, mashallah, God bless. A healthy, beautiful baby girl. 3.5 kilos of perfection. Everything looked the way it was supposed to. But what no one could see at that moment, including me, was that this was not the beginning of motherhood. No. This was the start of losing myself. As Tamara grew stronger, I grew weaker. I have spent over a decade building a successful career in the energy sector of the capital. I led systems, I led pressure, I led people. I was the person the MD would go to when things went wrong. I fixed things. And suddenly, I became this woman who would sleep for more than 10 hours and wake up completely fatigued. Not new mom exhaustion, not sleep deprived tiredness. It was a heaviness taking over my mind, my body, my soul that I couldn't explain and I surely could not fix. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, crying, thinking what sort of vile disease this is. How could this be me? The hardest part wasn't the fatigue. The hardest part was the disconnection. The disconnection from my newborn, the disconnection from my responsibilities towards my family and my corporate job. But most of all, the disconnection from the woman I used to be. I was tired of feeling tired. I was sick of being sick. I was embarrassed every time my husband would ask me, what was I doing at 2 a.m. as I Googled symptoms that made no sense together. I went deep and deep into the internet's rabbit hole. So I did what any of you would do. Yeah, I went seeking help. Doctor after doctor, booking an appointment after appointment to do blood work after blood work, only to be told you're absolutely fine. Actually, your results are book perfect. Book perfect was the term, and I felt far from perfect. I remember waiting 6 months to book an appointment with a renowned doctor, a consultant, an expert in his field. I remember walking in feeling hopeful towards the clinic, thinking, this is the person who can heal me, who can fix me, who will believe me. And as I sat down, he looked at me from under his glasses and said, honestly, Hadil, just suck it up. You're overthinking it. This is motherhood. Did you think it was a walk in the park? Suck it up. I wanted to yell. I wanted to scream. I wanted to convince him it wasn't all in my head. But instead, I did the most dangerous thing. I froze in my chair. I looked him in the eye and I nodded. I nodded. I thought to myself, what if he's right? What if all these doctors are right? You see, that's the most dangerous thing, because he didn't just dismiss me. I started dismissing myself. When enough experts tell you you're absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with you, you start questioning your reality. You stop trusting your body. You stop believing in your instincts. You might do what I did, silently and shamefully falling apart. You see, that experience taught me something I'll never forget. You could be medically fine, but to the core, deeply, utterly unwell. But I had a choice. I could wait for another person in a white uniform to dictate the way I'm supposed to live my life. Someone who met me just 10 minutes ago to validate my feelings. Or do I take full agency and accountability of my health? It's my health. Mine. I chose the hard way. And I wish I could tell you the journey afterwards was beautiful and linear and smooth. It wasn't. You see, because I became obsessed with fixing myself. Supplements, protocols, elimination diets, restrictive eating. I would convince myself that if I stuck to a diet long enough, I will become the woman I used to be, full of energy, full of life. I remember lying down on the kitchen floor, completely devastated after following a 5-week transformational diet, only to be left more bloated, more fatigued, frustrated, and anxious than ever. I was done. I was done with the quick fixes. I knew I had to trust my body. I knew I was looking at my body as a system I was trying to suppress rather than a system trying to communicate. After all, we have this incredible innate ability to heal ourselves, right? But why was I not healing? Why? What's wrong with me? I used to think. You see, the mind sometimes controls the body. And I knew I had to restore that connection, that trust. Because the greatest transformations in life are really never physical. They're mental. And the easiest way to bridge that gap between my brain and my gut was through education. As cliche as it sounds, knowledge is power, and I needed to power through this. Despite having a master's degree, I enrolled myself in a nutrition school, specializing in integrative health and gut microbiome. I became the guinea pig. I had nothing to lose. And the research and the case studies that I learned during my nutrition school courses were mind-blowing. Hundreds, if not thousands, of research have shown that postpartum mothers undergo prevailing symptoms after giving birth, with a whopping 40% continue to having these symptoms even many years after giving birth, which means millions of women, just like myself, are dismissed, misdiagnosed, or mistreated simply because they're going through a transitional phase in their lives. I love Naga Shetty's book, the author of It's Probably Nothing. She showcased thousands of women like myself who have been dismissed by the healthcare system simply because they've been going through a transitional phase in their life. Whether it's postpartum women, whether it's girls going through puberty, whether it's perimenopause or menopause women between the 40s and 60s. All dismissed simply because they were women. That's it. Medical misogyny is a real thing, and it needs to be stamped out once and for all, because only then will we collectively, as women, and the amazing men that support us with love and compassion, get the treatment we truly deserve, listened to, believed, without having to put up a fight. The more and more I learned, the more and more I realized that symptoms are not always obvious. These 40% of women still go out at night, still cook for their families, still enjoy life, but silently, they're suffering. So I had to look closely into what drained me, what gave me energy, what nourished me at a cellular level. And that's only those small little fixes, not the quick one, the consistent ones, allowed the brain fog to disappear, the disconnection to fade, and I started feeling more like myself. I started making jokes. I started waking up without feeling that heaviness. I had hope. I even replaced my morning coffee with bone broth. Yes, bone broth. Not because it was another quick fix or a viral trend, but because more and more research and data was pointing towards the healing power of this liquid gold. A mineral-rich elixir, they called it. Why has no doctor told me this? That postpartum depletion is the #1 reason for postpartum adrenal fatigue, and that bone broth supports it. Why? Why has no expert connected the dots between what I ate and how I felt? Why? Why? Why did I have to go through this vicious cycle for years to know this? That food is medicine. Food is medicine, and it can be healing. I was done with the whys, right? I was done with the quick fixes. I was done digging myself into that rabbit hole again. Because I knew that my body was whispering at me long before it screamed at me today. Probably months and years before I hit rock bottom. So let me take you back to that hospital room. But this time, as I hold my second baby in my arms for the very first time, my rainbow child, Mayara. And as I look deeply into her blue-gray, beautiful eyes, I realized something with her that I could have never understood with my first. What I thought was the breaking of me was everything I needed to become. Everything. And I know some of you here today are probably struggling, maybe mentally, physically, financially, whatever the struggle is. But what if that struggle is not an obstacle? What if that struggle is a redirection? Redirection to your real purpose in life. An invitation to look within. A force for you to change the way you perceive your future. Redefine what success really looks like for you. Because you see, when the familiar around us is stripped away, we're left with one question. One question: who am I? Who am I really? Who am I beyond the achievements and the recognitions and the labels and the requirements? Who am I? Because for the longest time, I saw my worth and I perceived it through the eyes of others. The career progression in my 20s, the successful businesses in my 30s, the awards and the recognitions in my 40s, Shark Tank winner, Forbes speaker, TEDx speaker. But those moments never defined me. Those moments never truly shaped who I am today. The true moments that actually made me who I am standing here resilient is my moments of crisis, is the moments when I hit rock bottom, when I thought postpartum was the end of me. Those were the moments that shaped me. I want to thank you all for allowing me to share my moment. I hope you all find yours too.